Hi, I'm Pam Hayes from Hayes Sewing Machine Company of Wilmington, Delaware. Welcome back to our creative videos. And today we're going to be working with a 3-yard quilt. It's done out of the Go Bold, or Go Home as they would say. I'm doing a high rise today. So in the picture, it's nice, bright, cheery. The size that we do for the videos is the traditional, 1 yard of 3 different fabrics. Be aware that if you want to enlarge these, it's very easily done, and she gives you step-by-step instructions. So if you needed to do something more of a twin to a queen size, you would be doing 2 yards of 3 different fabrics. Okay. What's nice with this one, it's the same block. Okay, so we're working with the same block. You're going to have 12 in one colorway, 12 in another colorway. But once you get the block, it's all the same. You're just putting different fabrics in different spots. So if you take a look here, you'll see how this one, the outside, has the blue, and the powder blue, in my case, is there. You're going to have to do a half square triangle, and then everything else is pretty much rectangles and strips. So real easy to do. And then the other one, that's this one, you'll see how in my case it has like the pinky as the strips, and then different color for working with the blocks, etc. So
it's basically a positive negative.
Yeah, positive negative. That would be probably an easier way of saying it, yes. Positive, negative, there you go. All right, so first thing we're going to start out with is we need to make basically this section first, this guy here. So just the strip and just the square. You're going to have a whole long strip of that across the 45, okay? You're going to sew them together and you're going to cut them up, and they'll give you all the dimensions. Then you're going to add the same color that you did for that top strip. You're going to add it to the side. All right. And then we're going to go and then we add a rectangle on top. All right. So all of that you'll have done. And remember, you're going to do 12 one colorway, 12 another colorway. So at this point, ta-da! Gotta love magic on the magic of video. So when you're working with it, you're good to go. Now we need to build the other side. Okay, see how we're starting with a half square triangle. So that's where we're going to pick up. Half square triangles, we're going to go and we're going to make sure we draw our line corner to corner, and do is something that A, you can see, and B, that's not permanent. So I'm working with a friction pen today, and I'm just going to draw corner to corner. And we're going to work with that nebulous scant quarter. You know, that one that you think, huh? Especially if you're kind of new to quilting, you're going to sometimes hear that word bantered around like you should know what they're talking about. And basically a scant quarter is not a full 1/4 inch. Okay? So when I'm working with it, I line this up. And so if I put the front edge, this guy here, if I put that on the line, that is going to be a 1/4 inch. Scant quarter is just a tiny bit less. So I'm going to go 1 click to the right.
On your needle position?
On my needle position. And I'm just going to take it and I'm going to sew down. And remember, you're going to be doing this assembly line style, so you're going to be doing a lot of them on the one side. Cut them apart, and then we're going to go and line them up and sew the other side. Now, you're going to go, and I just cut it on the line. Could you rotary cut? Sure. Doesn't really matter, I don't think. All right, so now we're going to go and we're going to press towards the dog.
Towards the dog side.
Yep. All right.
Luke, I am your father.
Yes. You got it. Press to the dog. All right. So again, you're going to do this on multiple guys. Okay, you're going to press, 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 and then we need to basically we need to trim them. And they'll give you the dimension that you need to trim. So, I take a ruler that has that 45-degree angle, and I take and I just line my 45-degree up with that line, and I'm doing 3.5. And I'm doing 2 sides. And you're going to find you're going to be trimming actually quite a bit. Because everybody's scant quarter is going to be a tad different. All right, and I'm going to do the same thing again. So line up the 45, and I'm lining the bottom at the 3.5, because that's what they wanted me to trim it to. And ta-da! So no big deal. Easy peasy, as they say. I don't know if they actually say that, but there you go.
But
All
you
right,
do.
but I do. All right, so now, remember, we're looking for, this is the other colorway. Like, can you see the half square triangle right there? And then we're going for the rectangle, so we're going to add those two together. So if you take a look, the rectangle wants to be flat. So that's why I cut that. All right, and it's going to go like so. Can you see I was building one of those shapes?
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to do the same thing there.
Got
And
it.
how do I know that? Look at my block.
Drop it down a little bit. There you go.
See how it's at that angle.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so first thing
So
you're
you
gonna-
should always have like fabric together.
Yes. All right, and you're going to sew, and remember, you're back to your quote-unquote normal 1/4 inch seam. So no scant quarter now. Okay, and I'm going to press after I'm done sewing the seam. And I'm just going to press it down towards the rectangle. It just seems to want to go that way. So, why fight it? Okay. So, there you go. Now, we're going to go and see how we're building our block.
Oh, nice.
All right? So everybody see where we're...
What an easy way of getting what appears to be a mitered corner.
I know, right? Because when I looked at it, I think, oh, that's a mitered corner. I'm like, yeah, not going to do that.
Or at least not on video.
Not on video. All right. So you do have a seam that you need to concern yourself with. Because of the way I've pressed it, it will go one side to the other. You know, the seam allowances are going one way and then the other way for the other side. And you do have a little X that's going to tell you where the point is.
All right. Can you give me a
Yep,
second
and
to see if we can?
And I'm going to draw it with my friction pen where the seam is.
All right.
Can you see where the X is?
Yep, we can now.
All right. Okay, can you see where, so I'm looking to sew and hit that right there. Now, if you are one of those people, you would want to do a quilt tack.
Absolutely.
All right, so I go along, just do a couple of stitches before, a couple of stitches after. That looks right on the money. Though for me, I also have a kind of a 3-time rule. I try to get as close as I can in 3 tries of the quilt tack.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Because I also have a 3-foot rule.
Because we aim for accuracy, but perfection steals joy.
Well, there you go. You heard it.
That's
here
my
first.
life philosophy,
You heard it.
or at least my quilting philosophy.
There you go. All right. So now at this point, we're going to do the same thing. If you were going to do a quilt tack, you're going to do a quilt tack. I showed them.
Yes, I know you did.
And I just did it.
Anybody who watches our videos on a regular basis must think I am like the most anal person around.
Oh, and there you go. And it looks just as nice. All right. So you give it a press. You're going to press it towards the outside. So remember, we want it to be nice and flat. And I got all excited when I was doing the prep for this, and I'm thinking, I'm done. No, you're not. All right, so we are almost done. Can you see how there are the blue in this case? Because and it mirrors what has gone around that center square. So, guess what? You have to do the same thing on the top. And because we've sewn this one on the top, we want to sew the top first.
Got it.
Like I said, I got all excited. I'm like, oh, not quite done yet. And we're going to stitch this down. And remember, we're at our 1/4 inch regular now, not anything scant.
So on this block, the only place you're using scant quarter is the half square triangle.
Yep, that's it. Yep, only on the half square. Everything else is your tried and true. All right. I'm just going to trim. This is where you can absolutely rotary cut. But I'm just...
Get a bigger pair of scissors.
Yeah, that's fine. All right. Now, another thing, don't do what I did. I was going along, I'm like, oh, okay. For me, I'm thinking log cabin, and then I'm thinking, oh, I'm just going to put it to, no, you're putting it to that side.
Gotcha.
You're mirroring, or you're doing exactly what the
first one was. Yep.
Yeah. I don't know who would ever do that, but all right. So now, again, we want to sew, and we're again just exactly doing the same center section. Okay. I did stop myself and look at the pattern before I did it. All right. And we're going to just slip this guy underneath. All right. And now I am going to press and I am going to trim it up with my rotary cutter. Okay, so when I go and I'm going to trim this up, I want to just make sure everything's nice and even. And I'm going to cut the sides. And then do the same here. So it is actually a really fun and fast and visually complicated. It really does look like, wow, how'd you do that? And you tell your non-sewing friends, it was hard. All right. Make sure I trim up the other side. All right, and I forgot the end on this one. Okay, so now we are on our, if you can pan out to this guy. All right, you have 4 blocks across, 6 rows of each. Hence, that's why you need 12 of each block. Even I can do that math. All right, you're going to see that you have your dark, your light, your dark, your light, your dark. So we need to do light, which is the one that I just put out. All right. So when we go, the light is going to be in the upper left. Next one over is in the bottom right. And then we flip. And then we go like that. So it's basically, it's the same twice in one row. Can you see how that's correct? Mm-hmm. And then you see that this would be number 3, and that would be number 4. Mm-hmm. So there are 2 sets going across. You'll love these, the first bit, nothing to line up. You gotta love that. You don't have to worry about a seam or nothing. So again, we sew down. All right, so we have done that row or that set of blocks. We're going to put the same one together. All right. So again, this is what we have. The blue, the darker, blue, darker. This is the only guy, the only 2 seams you really have to worry about. Mm-hmm. So in this row, anyway. And one of them has the pressed to either side for the seam last. The other one doesn't. The other one is, we've pressed to the dark. So that one, I did do a tag. I did do a little quilt tack just to make sure. Yep. And we're gonna go and we're gonna sew down. Now, could you have tacked the other seam? Sure. All right. And that's the row.
Drop down a little bit. Awesome, thank you.
All right. Now, we are going to line it up to the big guy. Let's take him down. All right. Now, when I line this up, I want to see where I was pressing my seams, and all of the seams I was pressing towards the big block, so I'm going to press this one the other direction. All right, so we're going to line this up. And we're going to look to see where we're going to put our quilt tacks. One there. And you should only have 3 of them that are in the main block intersection. Gotta love that. All right, now you do have some that you're going to also put a quilt tack just to make sure that it's lined up proper. Yep, that one looks okay. This one also has it. But as far as having to line up every little thing, it does a really nice job. You don't have to. All right, so we're just moving along here. And you can see why quilt tacks, especially on this long piece, are really super helpful. Because most of us, if we have to unpick the entire row, we're like, yeah.
I can live with it.
I can live with it. Whereas if you just have a little quilt tack, it's no biggie. And I have one more little quilt tack that I want to do. All right, and remember, if you do a quilt tack, look to see if you can live with it. looks good. Looks good. This is probably the only one I'm not going to live with. Just going to pull this one out. Try it one more time. Not having anybody watch me, it would just go right in. Close enough. I'm a whittle off, but I can live with it. Now you watch, if somebody comes in locally, they'll be like, oh, I know where Pam. Get it quite right. All right.
I think it might take him a minute to find it.
Yes. All right, we're going to sew straight on down. Remember when you're doing your quilt tack to sew through said quilt tack. Something flipped up on me there, so figured I'd get it while I was young. All right. All right. So the right one, go give it a press. And there you go. Now, it has two borders to it. This one is going to be border number 1. This is the lighter color. So I'm just showing you there. This is going to be the border. And then I have both marked.
They vary on the side.
Oh, they vary on the side. You live and learn, don't you? I'm thinking that's, All right, so one of them is going to be the light. One of them is going to be the dark on the other side. And then this one is going to go all the way around.
Nice.
Alrighty. Thank you for joining me today, and we will see you next time.